Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's Christina Cimorelli. And you guys probably know me from my main channel, Cimorelli, the band I'm in with my sisters. So on this channel, I talk a lot more about pregnancy and motherhood and other stuff, but mainly pregnancy and motherhood. So welcome to another video on my journey, this pregnancy. This is my first trimester recap. We're gonna talk about symptoms, mental health, how this pregnancy has been different, stuff like that, being pregnant with a toddler, oh my gosh, and lots of stuff. So let's jump in. The first one only lasted about 8 weeks. I miscarried, unfortunately. And the second one, I had Barrett in August 2020. And then this third one, I'm supposed to have this child in August 2022. I have almost the exact same due date as I did last time, 2 years later, which is very weird and very cool. I'm on the exact same timeline, almost to the day. So I'm going to tell you guys my symptoms. Let's start with that. So I made a video, I think it's coming out either next or next, and it's my early pregnancy symptoms and how I knew I was pregnant before I took the test. And that's going to go over those first symptoms. Pretty interesting. You should watch that. But now I'm going to pick up where that one left off. So I found I was pregnant right away, which is like 3.5 weeks, I guess, technically. The only symptom I had in the beginning was swollen gums at the end of the week. And that I had that last time as well. That's kind of a common thing, like swelling up kind of red in some of your gums. It's a common thing. I think it was definitely worse last pregnancy because I had some like really painful swollen gums and this was just like light. So then the next few weeks are not as eventful. This was before things went south. So at 4 weeks, I started to get more tired. I got the biggest nosebleed I've ever gotten in my life, which is not big because I've never gotten a big one, but nosebleeds are one of my pregnancy symptoms. Look that one up, that's a real thing too. That's actually one of my symptoms when I find out I'm pregnant early on as well. Weird. So that was weird, and a few moments of like excessive thirst, which I had last time too. Pregnancy insomnia. Awake for at least an hour, if not like 3 hours, every single night. Last time it was more like waking up at 4 or 5 for the day. This time it's more like waking up at 1 and then falling back asleep at like 4 or 3 or 12 to 2 or 3, stuff like that. Horrible. Then for the next 2 weeks, it's like the same kind of thing. Then once we got to 7 weeks, I think this was close to Christmas, which was really horrible. Things got bad. I really thought, I'm feeling pretty good so far. Like, this isn't horrible. Maybe my morning sickness won't be bad like last time. And boy, was I wrong. So I don't really throw up in my pregnancies. I get horrible food aversions and nausea and stomach aches as morning sickness all day. And this time it was all night as well. So I'd wake up in the middle of the night feeling really sick. I didn't have that last time. I'd feel fine in the middle of the night. So food aversions and nausea are my least favorite things possible, basically. Food aversions, like feeling like every food is it's not just like, oh, I don't really want that. It's like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to smell it. I don't want to think about it. Can't even say it. There were so many foods I literally couldn't even say. If I started to even like say the word or think of it, I was like, oh, and I would feel like I was going to throw up. I got a horrible stomach ache. The nausea just came on really strong. And then the nausea, it came in waves, depending. The food aversions were always there. They never left. But the nausea was coming and going, and it was just like, oh, so strong and so horrible. Just feeling like you're about to throw up, but you just don't throw up, but you're like, I'm gonna throw up. I like gagged a lot. It was just like, I'm about to throw up. I'm gonna throw up. Always feeling like you're on the edge of throwing up and every food is disgusting. Oh, it's such a bad feeling. My gosh, it was so hard. Something really different though from last time was that even with my food aversions like this, I still managed to eat meat a lot. Like every couple days probably. Now, last pregnancy, I did not eat meat for 3 months. And by the time we got into somewhere in the second trimester, I was anemic, I was exhausted, and I felt like trash. And I did get my iron levels back up. So I've been really aware of that this time, but I was not gonna make myself eat meat if it was making me disgusted. I'm telling you, this is not where you can like, you're like, oh, I don't want to eat it, but I can just make myself. No, you can't make yourself eat it because then you'll probably make yourself throw up. I actually did try that one day. I don't even want to think about it. And the food that I ate, that I'm not even gonna say, disturbed me so much. It's a food that I loved, and now I don't know if I'm ever gonna be able to eat it again. Because even now, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, oh, it's making me feel nauseous right now. I don't even have that anymore. Okay, we gotta move on. So I ate a lot of yogurt, Greek yogurt. I was trying to get protein really badly because last time I did not, and that was a problem. I'm gonna talk about that after all the symptoms. I'm gonna tell you guys what I did differently this trimester that actually helped, I think, but we'll get to that later. So I ate a lot of yogurt. I didn't eat that much cereal like I did last time. Last time I ate so much. It was more like crackers, yogurt, some sandwiches sometimes, which is kind of random. Like, how could I eat a sandwich? I don't know, but I could. And like Greek yogurt, like ice cream bars, like chocolate ones. You know what's weird? My water bottle, I had to put this away for like 8-9 weeks because it started disturbing me. First of all, water. I had an aversion to water. Like, what? I thought water tasted disgusting. What? And I thought water from my water bottle was absolutely disturbing. So I would just have to get myself to drink it out of a glass with ice, which normally I don't do. That was the only way I could get myself to drink some water, or sparkling water, which I normally don't like. But this disturbed me. I was like, I never want to see it again. It's disgusting. It tastes horrible. It's horrifying. Now I'm using it again, of course, but it was disturbing me. So during this time, it was really weird with weight gain because I was trying to find like the scientific explanation for this and I couldn't find it. But right away in the first like couple weeks, I gained like 5 pounds. I don't know what that was, like blood. I don't know. I have no idea. And then over the next weeks, I lost all of that and lost a couple more pounds and then ended up a little bit lower than where I started. So the net of the first trimester was lost a couple pounds. It wasn't too many though. It wasn't anything scary, so that was good. But I mean, I just really could not eat very much. It was like the worst part of my day. I just never want to think about it. And I love food. I'm such a food lover. I love cooking. I love thinking about my next meal. And it's just like so not pleasant. Not a good part of my day. Just horrible. So around 10 weeks, my nausea started to lessen a little bit. Not completely. A little bit. And I was like, ooh, feels a little better. My exhaustion also started to let up a little bit. So I was like, okay, I'm feeling slightly better. This is nice. Then at 12 weeks, they let up more. My exhaustion really let up, but my food aversions did not. So even though I wasn't feeling nauseous and I wasn't feeling exhausted, I was still feeling like, even though I'm not like I'm gonna throw up, I just don't want to think about any of these foods and I don't want to eat them. So kind of weird. And then, just like last time, around 14 weeks, things started to ease up even more to basically completely back to normal, maybe 90%. And I want to tell you guys some of the things I did differently with my morning sickness this time, and then I'll tell you about mental health and then being pregnant with a toddler. So things I did differently was I focused on protein. I did not do that last time, and it helped. It really helped so much. I could tell, I didn't know this last time, but for me at least, but I think this is some kind of scientific thing with your blood sugar. If you just eat like carb heavy things that don't really have protein in them, it makes the nausea and kind of like stomach ache and kind of like weak feeling worse. But if you can get protein in there, it actually can alleviate a lot of it. It doesn't cure it at all for me, but it made me feel a lot better. Last time I definitely felt worse. And I think it's because I was just constantly eating carbs only and I didn't realize I needed protein. So this time, what did I do to get protein? Because I wanted something that felt like a carb heavy meal only. Well, they were maybe carb heavy still, but I wanted something that just felt like just carbs, but it had protein. So Greek yogurt, strawberry Greek yogurt for some reason felt like that to me. And then there's some breakfast foods that are really good for this, like French toast that has eggs and then the bread has protein depending on what bread you use. I used bread with higher protein and that was great, but it just felt like I'm just eating carbs. And then popovers, you guys know what those are? They're like, have a lot of eggs in them. And I did like half whole wheat. Whole wheat has more protein in it, flour, and they were amazing. And it just tasted like, oh, I'm just having some carbs, but I was actually getting a lot of protein. I did not want to touch eggs. Like, didn't want to think about eating eggs, but I could have eggs like in something that wasn't like French toast doesn't taste like eggs. You know what I mean? And then hummus and carrots, cucumber, and pita. That ended up being so good. I searched high protein snacks and just looked through for like anything I could possibly stomach. Peanut butter, celery, and raisins. Ants on a log, or just peanut butter and celery. I know a lot of people don't like raisins. That was so perfect. That was a great snack. It was kind of my dinner though. Before bed, that was a really good one for me. Eating protein before bed was also great for me. Or else when I didn't, and I just had like carbs before bed, I did wake up in the middle of the night feeling more sick. So my biggest tip for protein is search high protein snacks and see what you could possibly stomach. Oh, sorry, I have to readjust. My sciatic nerve pain is just not right. Sitting is just, ugh. So being pregnant with a toddler has not been as bad as I thought it would be at all. I think it's the same as last time or better, probably better because it sucks when I just want to lay down, but I think about last time, like, I didn't feel better from just lying down all day. Like, I wanted to lie down, but it didn't really make me feel better. So even though it's annoying when it's like, ugh, if I didn't have a toddler, I could just lie down right now and then what? Still not feel good. So it was a distraction and like a lot of like fun moments with Barrett, to like cheer me up throughout the day, and then, you know, hard moments too. But still, I would say the good outweighed the bad, and it was better than last time. And I was really terrified last time about what it'd be like to be pregnant and have a toddler. I just thought, how could I possibly do it when this time it's so hard? It'll be even worse. But it was the opposite of what I thought. Thank goodness, because gosh, that would suck. So for me, just my experience, it was better overall, I would say. So I am just so happy about that. And lastly, mental health. My mental health has been so different this time. It made me realize how bad it was last time. So last time I was pretty depressed in the first trimester, and I didn't realize it until I watched an interview of someone talking about, who was it? Her depression in the beginning of her pregnancy, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm depressed. I didn't even realize. This time it made me realize, like, oh my gosh, I'm totally not depressed like I was last time. It's cool to see what it can actually be like to be pregnant and not be depressed in the beginning. And I just felt so much better and so much more hopeful. I guess because I wasn't like, this huge change is coming to my life, I don't know how to affect it, because it will be a huge change to have a second kid, but it's not going to be like not having a kid and then having a kid. For me, that was the absolute biggest shock ever. I've heard that when people have like more easy, chill babies, it can be not as shocking because they don't have to like change up their lifestyle quite as much. Because if you have a baby who will like easily go places with you, like they're not screaming in the car all the time, you can take them into restaurants and they'll just sleep in their chair. You can just go on walks with them and they'll be fine in their stroller. You can just put them down for naps and they'll actually sleep. I didn't have that experience at all. So it was like, I'm holding him all the time. I have to change everything because I have to think about how I'm going to be holding him here and there and here and there. And what if he's screaming here? And what am I going to do there? And like, is my stress level so high that the thought of driving somewhere right now and having him scream for 20 minutes is like going to send me off the edge because we've already had so many other stressful things happen today? Maybe I won't do anything today then. So I think that definitely added to my shock in my transition. So I am guessing that for me, this transition from 1 to 2 is not going to be anywhere near as bad as 0 to 1, but I think it's just going to be wildly busy and crazy, and I'm going to be in survival mode in the beginning. I know for some people, 1 to 2 is worse than 0 to 1, but we'll see. I could be wrong, but with how bad my experience was, I just don't see it being quite as bad. I just know so much more now. We'll see if my prediction is wrong or right. We'll see in what, 6, 7 months? When will we see? Like a month later, 2 months later, 7 or 8 months from now? I'll check back in for sure in September and October and see how difficult things are. I'm already wondering things like, how do you put a newborn down for a nap while you have a toddler? Or how do you put your toddler down for the nap while you have the newborn? I guess maybe I'll be wearing the baby a lot. I think I'll just have to. We'll get into that later. We'll get into that way later. But anyway, that is the video. That's my first trimester recap. To summarize it, it's been incredibly difficult in some moments and then not so bad in other moments. But week 7 through 10, those 4 weeks, that was like a month, that was just, oh my gosh, that was testing me. That was so hard. Oh my gosh, it was so hard. So freaking hard. Gosh, I hate nausea and food aversion, but it's okay. It's okay. I will do this as many times as I need to for all the siblings. All you women who have constant nausea, throwing up, food aversions, blah, 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 sickness for the entire time, you are warriors. I have to shout you out. I don't know how you do it, but I seriously don't know how you do it. Like, you are a miracle. You are a warrior. I bow down to you. Everyone should bow down to you. You should not lift one finger the entire 9 months, even though probably a lot of you have to, probably all of you have to, but you should never have to lift one finger. Everyone should lift every finger for you. That is just pure torture, and I can't believe someone would deal with it for 9 months, and I just can't believe how strong you are. If you go through that, I cannot believe how strong you are. I'm in awe at your strength. I have to put that out there because I just can't believe you wish you had 4 bad weeks. You wish it was only 4 weeks. And I'm sitting here like 4 weeks was horrifyingly bad. So I can't imagine what dark places your mind has gone and how much of a struggle it's been. If that's you watching this, I cannot imagine. And most people can't imagine. And then you probably feel alone because most people can't imagine going through it. Okay, that was a tangent, but I just have to shout them out because you probably feel alone in this because I don't think it's that common. So shout out to you. I'm sure at least a few of you are watching this. I just have to give you all the props. I have to. I just can't believe that. I feel so much empathy just because I hated those 4 weeks so much. I feel so much empathy for those people. Okay, I gotta move on. We can go on forever. This was my recap, but I got a lot more videos coming. Lots of pregnancy content, finding out if this is a boy or a girl really soon. The old wives' tales are coming up, and then the gender reveal is coming up on the Cimorelli channel. So it's all coming up very soon. We're gonna find out. I'm really excited. And how I knew I was pregnant before the positive test. That's a great video. Early pregnancy symptoms. I think that one's next, probably. So I'll see you guys next time, and good luck to everyone fighting a hard battle. Good luck to us all. Actually, I'm not in a hard battle right now, just my sciatic nerve pain hurts, but that's about it. So I'm not really complaining right now. Good luck to everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.